It's a great day for a hike, and I'm about mile 16.1 on the E&N Railway's Port Alberni Subdivision, the low light Mike tree behind me, and I'm going to continue on for a little ways and then turn around and head back. I hope you like this video. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. The location of this hike is on Vancouver Island on the west coast of British Columbia, and the little red circle is the rough location. Here's the E&N Railway's Port Alberni subdivision going from right to left, Parksville to Port Alberni, and you can see the Victoria subdivision working its way up to Courtenay along the coast. The red line is the area of my hike, the north side of Cameron Lake. So here's a close-up of Cameron Lake with the E&N Railway on the north shore. My starting point is about mile 12.3 on the right-hand side with the little red circle. My turnaround point is approximate mile 16.7, 16.8, something like that, on the far west end of the lake. Those little red squiggles mark the trestles and bridges along the railway that I get to cross. The red circle there, just before mile 15, is the location of the large rocks that had fallen from up at the top of the mountain onto the tracks. There's the extent of my hike, 4.4 miles out and 4.4 miles back, of course. Works out to be about 14 kilometers, and it took me about 6.5 hours total. It was fun. 5:37 a.m. and I start my hike. Little Qualicum River. The green reflector is the switch for the Cameron Lake siding, east end. Cameron Lake cabins are up on the left. The lake is through there. The old cars here at the siding, kind of looking ghostly. It's almost the start of civil twilight when things will start to lighten up. But I knew I'd be spending the first half hour of my hike with my headlamp on. That's okay. Station name sign. Cameron Lake. Here's the site of the Cameron Lake water tower, evidenced by the concrete foundation, now holding up spare rails. This is mile 13. No post, but I know where it is. Not the post, I know where the location is. Right here. Through there, down below is the lake. I have a bit of a broom jungle to go through, and then I get to the first trestles of the day. 2 of them in quick succession. This is April 17th today, and in about a month all these broom weeds will likely be covered with their yellow flowers. Pretty for camera work, but a horrible invasive plant. And here comes the trestle. This one is in poor shape, gets a lot of foot traffic, and is sketchy to walk on. And that's why I like it a lot. It's fun. Walking carefully is a simple procedure. You walk over top of the stringer beams, the heavy beams, or you do what I do and carefully walk down the middle, being careful to avoid the bad ties. Here's the spot I was looking for. Time for a lovely photograph. Yeah, it is pretty. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, let's continue. I want to get to the big trestle while the light is still nice. Sunrise happens soon before I get there, but the sun will be blocked by the mountains, so that's good. Okay, the land between the two trestles. Okay, mile 13.8 trestle, the little guy. Just a sketchy old trestle. Okay, so after this one, I've got a short walk through the broom weeds, past a small rock slide, and then I've got the good trestle to cross. It's straight, boring, in good shape. That's where I've come from. Here's the little rock slide. Came down sometime in autumn 2021. Not much there. That's what it looks like. Crumbling rock just from the slope above. This is very nondescript. The best thing about it is the sound of walking on the wood. This open area is nicely visible from Highway 4. Around this corner is the big trestle at mile 14.6. There's the lake. Lovely view of Cameron Lake. I love this moment of anticipation. I wanted to get here before the sun was touching the trestle. That's the reason I got up at 4:30 today on Easter Sunday. Lovely. I wanted to get here by 6:45 a.m. I'm successful at that. Oh yeah, and I like a bit of color of the sun on the mountains in the background. I enjoy walking this trestle, especially in the quiet of the morning, just me and the woodpecker. Oh, the lake is so lovely. So, I am walking on a stringer beam, or over top of it. And I'm being careful that my balance doesn't get thrown off by stepping on a crumbling tie. Here's an example. I'll step right down onto the stringer beam. There's the other stringer beam. They are pretty thick. Ah, nice view. And now I'm walking down the open because I want to show you this. That's more fun. That little patch of green moss at the edge of the platform is one of my favorite things on this trestle. I love it. Here's the morning view. A nice woodpecker. It's a good time to tell you about my hike. It is 4.4 miles out and then back the same way. I am just over 2 miles into it, and let's continue railway west into the weeds, and then I'm going to be into the place where large rocks have fallen from the top of the mountain. I'm going to call it a landslide mountain. I don't know what the term is. It's not just a rock slide, but the result is a whole lot of big rocks on the railway. So this is the third time in the last 6 months that I've been here. End of October, 3/4 of the way through January, and now halfway through April. I'm glad I've come back here. Last time I was here, one of the goals was to gain familiarity, and that's what I'm still doing. And the end of the hike, my turnaround point, will be above the northwest corner of the lake. So I'm essentially going all along the north shore of Cameron Lake along the railway. My goals for the hike, firstly, always to get outside, get exercise, enjoy being out here, where it seems like all the things I enjoy doing come together. Railway history, walking, early morning solitude, photography, and vlogging, and always the anticipation of seeing something new, seeing how time and weather and people have impacted the landscape that I'm going through, and specifically the railway grade. It's been almost a full month since I was out walking, doing this kind of thing, but I want to make the effort today because I really need it. This is so good for me. So at the end of this straight stretch will be the mile 15 post, but like I said, before I get there, there will be a lot of big rocks that size, except without the moss, because they're from sometime in November or December 2021. So my turnaround is going to be mile 16.7. It's right at the eastern edge of a recent fiber optic cable installation project. So that's where the railway starts to look nice, because there was work done on the grade. But I'm just approaching the edge of that, so I don't get to enjoy that. But that turnaround spot I came at from the other end earlier in March. So I'll meet up with the same spot from the other end. And that's what I like to do, have these turnaround spots that are common. I normally comment that I don't like to go here where there's the tall broom weeds between April and September because of ticks. And here I am. And the reason I'm doing this in mid-April is because we've had a lot of cold weather lately, and it was down to freezing last night, and we've had some snow and slush and hail, and in my uneducated understanding, that helps reduce the risk of the ticks, cold weather. Okay, so these windfalls up ahead signify the start of the rockfall area, and now that I have a better understanding of them, just from talking to other people and seeing it from the highway, I have a better idea of what happened. A whole lot of rock let go from the top of the mountain, and you can see the scar of travel as they went crashing down the mountainside. And coming up are some pretty big rocks, and you can see the fracture on the rocks. What didn't come down, surprisingly, this far is a whole lot of earth. So this is not buried in dirt. Getting way up there is where everything came down. And I'm curious how much of it bounced here and continued on down, and how close these types of rocks came to the cabins. Like there's one rock down there. It's through the woods. Hard to tell what's fresh and what's from a few years ago, because this is a regular rockfall area. But you can see how these rocks did damage to the trees. And here's the really big guys. This is the one with the nice clean cut to it on the right. All right, let's continue on. Caution, big effing rock. Yeah. They let go from way up there. There's some more. And one more large one. There's some nice built up land there above the lake. Here around mile 15. Okay, this should be the last of the big guys. And I am just a few steps away from the mile 15 post. Just past this next one. I like it when I have familiarity. There's the post. You can see it better from the other angle. Mile 15. Okay, let's keep going into the straightaway and then the big bluff. Up ahead, the mountain is being lit by the morning sun. And that bright sunlight is going to creep down, just progressively more and more until the area that I walk is sunlit. This bluff right here, I'd love to comment on it every time. That I'm sure it was a familiar and just useful landmark for the train crews coming back from Port Alberni. The trees are almost ready to burst out into leaf. The buds are there, ready to open up. There's an old box that I like to note. I think it used to carry the grease cans. On the topic of familiarity with this area, I know I'm somewhere around mile 15.5 or so, heading westward. In through there is a culvert. I like this tree tunnel. It's quite a distinctive mound of gravel that's built up. So you can see the rail, both rails, and then they disappear. Came down from there, overwhelmed the culvert, and just backed up, and then just got deposited. Yeah, so maybe that actually is a classic dirt slide. And here's the rails again. Here's the rail. It's the other one. And they disappear in. The trident tree. I love it when I notice things I haven't seen before here, like spare rail right there, 2 lengths. And I can see the other end of it right there. Always more things to notice. And there's a set on, set off work area here, which goes with that spare rail. A lot of old metal work in piles through there. And coming up where the sunlight is, oh, you can see my shadow too. Coming up is where there used to be a set on set off area with the wood right here. Let's move my shadow. Every time I get here, the wood is a bit more disintegrated. Still on it. Coming up around the corner is mile 16. The more I come here, the more it's just simple to get here. First time was like, oh man, what an expedition to get out here to the back end of the lake. Obviously it's helped that some of the broom has been cut. Thank you, wonderful people. But the more familiar I get, I just realize it's not that difficult to get out here. My main barrier now is the issue of the ticks on the broom. Alright, the naked signpost. 16 is the number. Coming up is the low light Mike tree, which is my favorite landmark. Some nice people marked my social media nickname on it with a nice greeting. Okay, a Colt 45. It's an 8% one. Wow. It's a great day for a hike, and I'm about mile 16.1 on the E&N Railway's Port Alberni Subdivision. Here's the trail, it goes up to Wesley Ridge, Mount Horn, and then a little ways around this corner, the trail goes down to the Cabin Road, and then you could walk the Cabin Road westward towards Cathedral Grove, and that is what a lot of hikers do. Up here on the left is where a rock slide from yesteryear was cleared, rail repaired. People from the Canadian Railroad Historical Association. And now I've got the sun over my shoulder. I've got the track fairly well lit up. Hey, when I started at 5:40 a.m., it was dark. I had the headlamp. I love morning transitions. Being outside as the day wakes up. Through there is the lake. And I'm at the narrow west end of the lake. To the left here is the trail down to the Cabin Road. Last two times I've come through here, just like now, someone has been coming up the trail. 3 in a row maybe? Nope. Disappears to the right. What a steep trail. Okay, keep going westward. This ribbon marks the eastern extent of the fiber-optic cable project of the crew coming through and doing brushing work. First off, behind me, broom on the track and clear track ahead. So the cable itself did not come this far. I'm not sure what this clearing ended up being. They made it for the project. First I thought the cable was going to go down the slope here, but maybe this is where they parked things or turned around equipment. I really enjoy this area. This is my frequent turnaround spot. I'm just going to go a bit further. I want to see what happened with the fiber optic cable project. When I was here last, 3 months ago, there was a manhole cover, and you could see where the cable would have gone down the slope. And I just want to see if they've dressed it up a bit. But also, look at that. It's Cameron Lake right there. I love this spot. It is good to have favorite places and to visit them regularly. Okay, this is the eastern end of the cable. It goes down the slope and presumably follows along Highway 4. Just my speculation. Another speculation is that although the manhole cover here in the signage says CRHA, there was a news article recently about Google doing a fiber optic cable that leaves Port Alberni and goes to Japan. And I'm thinking this is part of it. It goes down there. So here is where it comes up from there. And then we'll follow the railway for 8 miles until almost Lacey Lake Road at about mile 24.7, 24.8, something like that. Well, it's 8:30 a.m. I started my hike at 5:40 a.m., just under 3 hours, and I'm on my turnaround, so I'm heading back east. Bye-bye, CRHA cable. I just love this part of the walk here. Coming up to where the rocks are piled up on the right from a rock fall from years ago. Actually, it's a continuous rock fall if I just look right here. A lot of the things that impact the railway line here are not one-time events. They're just continuous. That's nice right there. A lovely sunny day. Looking down at Cameron Lake. One last look back westward at the mile 16.7 area. Here's that little clearing. I leave the confines of the fiber optic cable project and walk back into the broom. It's not horrible. It's just horrible in a few places. That's what it's like when it was clear. Okay, there's a look back at where the railway was cleared up. So again, my reminder to myself, watch every step. Be careful, do not trip over the tangle of broom. Here's the trail, Cabin Road. And with some more sunlight and time to linger, I'm just noticing the beauty all around. The moss, it's lovely. Even the neat old piece of rail there. This is a lovely spot. And up here on the left is the trail going up to Wesley Ridge and Mount Horn with the sign that points it out up there. And as I always say, I just keep it on the friendly confines of between the rails. Okay, here's the low light mic tree. Until next time, probably October. Alright, that's cool. Okay, mile 16. Yeah, nice scene here. I like it. Okay, until next time here. Here's the set on, set off. And let's walk through the maintenance area. So here's the box that would have held the grease cans. Grease cans are right through here. With Mr. Treble Clef's artwork. There's lots of treble clefs in this area have been painted. I appreciate the musical talent. More items through here. So there's that box. Here's a pile of metalwork. A bunch of joiner plates. Big pile of them. Joiner plate that I'm walking on. More stuff in the barrel. And back to the line. Yeah, there's the rails through there. Here we go. I like the colors. Lit by the sun. So I'm back at the box that held the grease cans. This is the one about mile 15.2. Coming up to the big rock bluff that we go a curve around. The dripping rock, the light hitting it, making it sparkle and shine. In this area, about mile 15.1, this is one of the most close by slopes, close to the tracks. Looking down. There's the rails. It's hard to see with the harsh sunlight, but on the right hand side is the mile 15 post. The only fully signed mile post that I see on my hike today. Yeah, 15. Alright, let's continue into the rockfall area. I continue walking into the harsh light, but I get a bit of shade here. And I'm into the big rockfall area. Here they come. Standing like some muffins out of a muffin pan. Came tumbling down. Interesting thump. Not any rail damage that I can see. And the great caution sign. Caution, big effing rock. Right there. Of course I think, well, how could you miss this? Why do you need tape? And if you're coming through at night, then that would be the reason. Okay, using the very uncouth vertical mode because I want to see more of this. Shadow. It's find our truth or find out truth. No treble clef though. The sign tells me that if I have a blade or something like that, if I'm a rail car, like a snowplow, I need to lift it because there's an obstruction ahead. And the obstruction is the inner guardrail on the trestle. Because here comes the big trestle at mile 14.6. And on the right hand side are a bunch of bridge timbers. And I'm going to sit on one in the shade and take a nice break. It's a lot more sunshine than when I was here last. This is a great spot. Okay, I finished a nice break here at the west end of the big trestle. The light warms me. That's horrible for photography. Oh yeah. I like that spot. Yeah, when I get to the other end, I'm going to have the sun more favorable, I think, and I'll do some photos coming the other way. Here I am partly down, standing in the stringer. Yeah, it's a nice view. And my feet. Okay, done here. Until next time, probably October. One more glimpse back. Yeah. These spring trips are tough. I miss them. I'll miss the place until autumn. Again, I don't dare come back between now and then because of ticks on the broom. Looking ahead, there is the mile 14 trestle, the one that's straight and simple and in good shape. And somewhere up here on the right was the mile 14 post. I've seen photos of it in the early 2000s, but it is gone. I think it was somewhere around here. Okay, here comes the little rock slide about mile 13.9. Okay. It'll happen again and again and again during wet weather. Interesting rock. History keeps on repeating itself in the various problem areas of this subdivision. So the broom is almost ready to flower. Getting so close to that. The yellow flower is pretty. Okay, the twin trestles, mile 13.8 first. Ah, that was simple. Oh, it's turned into a lovely sunny day. Some clouds. Okay, let's do the mile 13.7 trestle. Nice. Nice lake. And that's pretty too. I set up over here this morning for a photograph. Okay, that's a good comparison of shots. Okay, until I see this one again. October, probably. Tie plates. And tree tunnel. About mile 13.5 or so. There's maintenance items in there. Old buckets. Okay, here's the spot that I'm pretty sure is mile 13, where the post used to be somewhere here. I've got the Cameron Lake siding beside me now. Up here on the right is the site of the water tower at Cameron Lake. And the concrete foundations are now used to rest the spare rail. Yeah, I said that this morning. I'll say it again. And now it's light enough to see it. Siding is still right there. Here's some more of the Cameron Lake siding. And coming out to the open area in a second, next to the modern day cabins, and people enjoying their Easter afternoon. Wait, it's still morning. It's about 11:30 a.m. And I'm coming up to Little Qualicum River. I just finished having a good chat with some people heading up to Wesley Ridge and their cute dog. Okay, just over 6 hours after I started, I am back and I'm done. That was a fun hike.